Hello there, and welcome back to Will and Jack. My name is Will. With me today, as always, is Jack.
James.
So Jack, we are back on the Indian movie trend. Similar to RRR, we're watching Sardar Udham, which is all about the Indian freedom-fighting independence movement. This one is very different to RRR, I think. From what I've seen from posters, it looks a lot more serious, a lot less like light-hearted that RRR kind of was, even though it had like some very evil bits in it. And this is actually a true story. This is, well, RRR was a true story. Those two guys were real, but this is a true biopic story. Udham Singh is a real person, so this is, and I think this is very grounded. This is a bit more like a typical biopic you would see, like Darkest Hour or something like that.
You know, we have watched some serious elements in the other films, but this is going to be our Oppenheimer, is it? Yeah.
So, like I said, this is going to be quite a serious one, I think, and it does deal with the British Empire. So, from our perspective, I think that's going to be quite interesting to see because we are British citizens. I don't know about you, but growing up, you weren't really taught about the evils of the empire. You were really taught about not the good things. It wasn't even spoke about. It was just like, we were Great Britain, we were great, we had this empire. That was basically just the gist of it. You weren't really taught about it, and you definitely weren't taught about the evil stuff about it. It's only in the last 5 years that you've really started to question it.
To have an empire like that, you can't be nice. Do you know what I mean? Are we the baddies?
Yeah, I'm hoping for quite a serious one. I'd like a serious film, please. India, give me something serious. But yeah, so prepare to be the bad guy again, Jack. Let's put our bad guy caps on.
I'm used to it. Here we go. I excite. You know it's going to be a banger when there's about 90 production companies involved.
So this movie was actually recommended to me. And in fact, Udham Singh was taught to me by an ex-student of mine.
Oh, look at that little beep. 20,000 people. You familiar with this, William?
Yeah. I think this is in Gandhi.
He was most likely given a medal or something stupid like that as well, you know what I mean?
Michael O'Dwyer.
It's our hero, Will. I think it is.
So I wonder if this guy's up there with like the two RRR guys in terms of like folk heroes.
Is this another legend, you know?
हमारे अच्छे सारे के कामरेड जो बचे हैं कुछ जेल में हैं जो बाहर हैं वो टूट चुके हैं.
There we go. This is about the rebellion, isn't it?
अब यहाँ कुछ नहीं बचा है.
Look at that. Don't see that in Aldershot, do you?
Oh, he looks different, doesn't he?
He's got a fresh trim.
It really makes me want to take my beard off just to see what I look like again.
Do it. 100k subs, Jack shaves his beard off live.
Yeah. He's already jumped the gun with that. He's already took that beard off. You're not going to recognise him now.
See, if you wanted for a crime, you could very easily just shave your beard off and...
I know.
We're in London.
Send through all the old photographs you have and the aliases, and we'll do what we can to help. Right, sir.
So in the last few Indian movies you watched, the British characters the accents have been questionable.
क्या नहीं कर रही है British government?
इनको ये नहीं पता कि सारी फैसिलिटी इन्होंने अपने लिए बना रखी है.
रेलवे नेटवर्क तो इन्होंने पूरा जाम किया और पूरा अंदर तक लूटने के लिए बनाया है.
That is one of the arguments I see people say. It's like, oh, British and India had trains, they built them all this infrastructure, and then the other hand is they took everything else.
They looted, yeah. It's very picturesque, isn't it? That's what yours going to look like in Canada, Will.
I hope it's not that cold. It's going to be me walking to work. He's just having to walk all the way over there. He's like, yeah, it's just about 2,000 miles that way.
I'll just lie down and make some snow angels and die. Building a lot of tension, isn't it?
उसके बाद organization smoothly चले. उसके लिए तुम्हें कुछ बताना चाहता हूँ.
फिर तो पक्का हमें किसी तीसरे को बुलाना पड़ेगा.
क्यों?
क्योंकि बचूंगा तो मैं भी नहीं. मेरा भी वही होना जो तेरा होना.
He must have done something really big or thingy, you know, the way that he's been moved around like this.
लंदन किस नाम से आए हो?
शेर सिंह.
नाम बदल लो. ऑलरेडी तुम्हारे लिए MI5 और स्कॉटलैंड यार्ड दोनों जगह अलर्ट्स इशू हो गए होंगे. बैरिस्टर हैं हमारे आइडियोलॉग. दत्ता, सुमेर.
Yeah, look, they're intelligent, smart, successful people.
भगत सिंह से आखिरी मुलाकात कब हुई तुम्हारी?
पकड़े जाने से पहले. उसके बाद तो सीधे वो चिट्ठी मिली थी.
क्या कह रहा था वो?
कहीं बाहर जाकर सपोर्ट खड़ा करने को बोला था.
Well, it's an interesting way it's going because it's like, what's he trying to do? He's still obviously fighting for the cause. They're trying to make him lay low so something big's coming, I guess. Oh, Jesus. Oh! We yet to see a snubby yet, Will.
So that's one of the men he wants. He's already dead.
Oh, is it for the actual shooting?
Yeah.
hunting them. This man's an assassin.
It's like Terminator.
In the war that is at our doorstep, the Empire will need all her fighting men. Over 100,000
Great soldiers in the war as well, aren't they?
Without it, they will return to savagery, looting and killing one another. It is not only Africa, ladies and gentlemen, that is the white man's burden.
Jesus, he's got a snub.
Mr. Doyle!
I knew, I could sense he had a snub. Oh! See the way he went down?
I thought that was going to be at the end of the movie. I didn't realise it was going to be at the beginning. Do you notice he was Irish? So they got Irish people doing their dirty work as well. He's smiling.
The Indians never forget their enemies. They strike them down even after 20 years.
Who is behind this?
Oh, now it's going to cause a lot of turmoil, isn't it?
Yeah.
That proper British rolled up sleeves, you know, to tussle.
Queensberry rules, right hook.
Immigration records show that he entered London several times since 1933, using different names. Sher Singh, Uday Singh, Udham Singh, Azad Singh, and Frank Brazil.
Frank Brazil. Got bored of using Singh, clearly.
Have a look at the Germans. We can't take any chances.
They think Germans.
Who are you?
Oh, jeez.
What is your name?
So they think the Germans are sponsoring these guys to come and kill British officers. Oh no.
No, not the whip.
Tell me about the next target.
Oh
Oh,
god.
Jesus, not that.
Where's that going?
Just try and give us one little lesson.
Oh no.
All the other important figures you were following.
It's been very strong not to talk yet, because you will eventually break. It's the...
I don't know, maybe he's done this knowing he's going to die, so he's just here for the ride.
We will dig everything out, one way or another. There's no way that a carefully planned assassination like this can be carried out without the support of a big organization.
It seemed to we did was just walk in and shoot him.
Louis Sir Connor, IRA के आदमी हैं, काम आ सकते हैं. तो मिले उनसे?
IRA.
नहीं.
I know you know what the Somtox is. That film's fantastic, by the way. Jackie Chan, Pierce Brosnan, The Foreigner on Netflix. Absolutely fantastic.
No!
Oh, snub.
Oh, small snub! You need a snub alert.
Shot a child in a...
Double tap him. He just double tapped him as well. That was happening in Ireland a lot.
You are planning something. How can I stop you?
Kiss?
Yeah, it's the only way. Oh, there we go.
Multiple snubs.
Rifles.
I want landing in India. Balance after delivery. Your revolution, my revolution, same. Common enemy. You lamb, me lamb.
British police have foiled an arms conspiracy between Irish and Indian rebels after
Here they go. They've got the snub, he's ready to go.
Oh! He just set his snub round, Will.
cutter in northern India.
You want us to believe that you came back only for a Dwyer?
What do you think, Jack?
They've all got their fingers in the pie. The plot thickens, that's for sure, William. That's all I'm certain of.
It's a very misty movie.
It is.
It's like vaping on the screen. There you go, Jack's meeting his contact.
Tell me, where have you been? Oh, he spotted him, so he targeted him. Look, he followed him.
And I have no hesitation in saying that General Dyer's action that day was the decisive factor in crushing the rebellion.
It's funny, that's the attitude for decades.
Was to crush lawlessness and rebellion.
That transition.
Oh, he's practicing the snub. See, the way it built it up, like he just first went there, made it seem like he's a stoic killer, but we're getting a bit of backstory now. It's just hard for him.
I know. I never realised he's like proper planning it. From what I read about it, I thought he just turned up at London one day and just shot him.
How much for the box?
Well, he didn't sell him in pens.
Sir,
Free?
for you.
You are here in the heart of the British Empire, making a good, honest, lawful living like us. You'll make a good salesman.
So he could just kill him right now, couldn't he? but he's not.
Yeah.
I think he wants to make it public.
You worked with Bhagat Singh too, didn't you?
Bhagat Singh ki baat mat karo.
He says let's not talk about him.
They're gonna hang you like they did Bhagat Singh.
Revolutionary symbolic act करते हैं अपनी protest को register करने के लिए.
That's what he wanted to do, yeah. A revolution.
या धमकाना नहीं चाहते.
Shouting slogans like "Long live the revolution," "Down with imperialism."
Oh, jeez. You see, it's not British soldiers doing the hunting.
No.
And arresting some prominent ones.
Oh.
Both wanted as conspirators in the Saunders murder case, along with Bhagat Singh himself.
And therefore we demand complete independence and a total revolution.
Again, they're probably a real person as well, wouldn't it?
It's a real person.
You haven't got a lot of time left. It's important for your own sake that we know what your real name is.
If he tells him his real name, would he be able to track his family in India or something?
Yeah, probably.
Ram Muhammad Singh Azad.
Specifically this name, Ram Mohammed Singh Azad.
So it is symbolic of Indian religious unity.
What's it say? Because he's not Muslim, but his name was Muhammad.
I said it at that time.
Is that Churchill?
Why I was responsible for a monstrous event.
I agree.
India protested.
It's his 50th drink of the day.
We don't get to see it, thankfully.
Another divisive figure, Edward Winston.
There are a lot of Indian soldiers fighting for us in this war.
A meek surrender to this madman would be to embolden the voices of rebellion amongst the Indian soldiers.
Sir, is this incident a threat to the British Empire?
No. This is a stray incident by a crazed lunatic who has no further links.
It's nuts though, just being that guy, you shoot one guy and everyone thinks the whole empire's gonna crumble because of your one action. God, it looks so dangerous.
Kiss each other already.
Jack said that in every scene, but I've had to cut it out. Oh no.
Oh no. Waterboarding.
You ever had that done to you?
I've actually done it to myself, funny enough.
You will have to cooperate if you want me to present your defense.
I don't really know how you can defend him, because he shot him. It's obvious.
I need a job, sir.
What do you do? Come round to the house. Let's see what we can do for you. Okay.
Gee, I never realised it was like his friend. Well, not his friend, but it's his chauffeur as well. Like so when he turned around and saw him, he recognised him straight away, and he shot him.
Maybe it's like a psychological game he was playing with him as well. Like he wanted to see that.
They deserved it. You can't rise in rebellion and expect a medal, you know. God, what was coming? Would you kill a man to save 10?
If I believe it to be true.
10 men to save 100. 1,000.
Snubs back.
Okay, beautiful.
He's clearly trying to justify his actions.
You know nothing. I ended Gandhi's soul force with brute force.
There were women. Children.
Nonsense. When he stopped firing, that was the sign that it was good for them to go.
So, you don't think it was brutal, sir?
It was sufficient.
How you feeling, Jack? Were your thoughts no Dwyer?
Scum.
उस अपने किए पे कोई अफसोस नहीं था.
So you left the job?
मारा था तो मार देता. वो protest नहीं होता.
I see. So it would have just been murder or something if he killed him in those situations. He needs to be assassinated. Gee, there it is.
Snub. It's iconic, Will. This is it. Be up to date now, soon. Planning it.
Jeez, he's like proper like... I never realised it was this deep, his story. I thought it was literally just rock up, shoot the guy, go home.
No, he had this proper planned. Gonna hide it in the book. That old trick. The snub book. You know, you hold the book like that and you're like, oh yeah, have you read Mr. Happy? Straight in the book.
I don't think Mr. Happy would fit a snub.
It would. I've seen some small snubs in my time.
I should have gone for like a really cool book, like Crime and Punishment or something, like a proper, like, ironic one.
Humpty Dumpty.
मर्डर को प्रोटेस्ट मानेगा या प्रोटेस्ट को मर्डर मानेगा आपका ब्रिटिश लॉ.
It's very cool, because obviously you have a right to protest, don't you?
State your name for the record.
Shoot me.
State your name.
Proceeding is a waste of time. Just shoot me.
State your name.
I'm Mohammed Singh Azad.
State your real name.
Jai Asli Naam hai. This is my real name.
Accused, Udham Singh. Do you plead guilty or not guilty? Do you plead guilty?
I protested. आपका पूरा ब्रिटिश एम्पायर एक ट्रेडिंग कंपनी है जो एक इंपीरियलिस्टिक पावर बनकर हम पर राज कर रही है illegally and forcefully. Looted us, robbed us of all dignity, finished our economy.
That's enough.
Yes, that is enough. It is time for you to leave my country.
Will you stop this political ranting, my lordship?
It's like I've had enough. Oh, the snub! The snub's got a suit on. It's like...
I call upon my first witness, Mr. Snub.
We are here to decide on the quantum of sentence.
The quantum of sentence.
The accused is found guilty as charged. The accused would be hanged till death.
There you go. She gets a death sentence in.
It's doing a really important job of showing all this stuff as well, do you know what I mean? Like, some things we just skip over it.
Oh no. It's horrible, isn't it?
I know you're not a killer. You've never killed anyone before in your life. What happened that day? What changed you?
We're about to get a brutal flashback. I'm feeling it. Oh, this is it, Jack. I think they were all like herded into like a square and then just fired upon. So it was almost like hunting. You see, they're like blocking them all off and herding them.
Call for more battalion.
A protest has been called at Jallianwala Bagh.
Job to make him look young as well.
Likely. But it's going to be political, yes?
Yes, sir.
So it's an unlawful gathering, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Who do you have in mind for the job?
We have briefed Colonel Monago.
Call for General Reginald Dyer.
Yes, sir.
Steps out like Thanos.
Wow, it's massive, isn't it? It's like production. It's a huge sort of scaling, you know, through time, like going back, flashback.
It's very well made.
We cannot afford another mutiny.
Sir.
I want to set a precedent. We need to set an example.
Sir.
Jesus, man, it's heartless.
Oh no, probably just there by herself though.
Don't go.
That's what they said about the general being fine, blah blah blah, and thing. He wasn't. So I think this really messed him up.
They're not doing anything. Oh no, she's there. He's here.
No meetings.
My heart's going a bit.
Horrendous, this is.
Fire.
Oh.
Jesus. Oh, she's foot.
Very violent film. Just gotta stay down, haven't you?
Jesus Christ.
And this happened, Jack. It's like something you see in like a World War II film. It's not like it was like 10 seconds either. It's like it's going on for minutes.
Oh god, that window, look. Oh, there she is.
She's still breathing. The soldiers are still doing it. Surely the soldiers would be like, no. It's just that's how complicit they were. It's just a job, probably, you know?
Yeah.
You get paid more if you're in the army. Do I deserve it?
Oh, yeah. It definitely did. It makes you just hate the British, doesn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It's just a footnote in your history.
Literally, it's like, I guarantee if you went out into the street right now, no one would know what it was.
And then anyone going out gets shot.
We can never really relate because nothing like this has happened in England.
It's like a mass grave now.
This was 100 years ago, so that's like very, very recently. Imagine seeing that.
You can't fathom it, to be honest. You wouldn't be able to process it in your head, I don't think.
Reshma! Reshma!
This is horrible.
Jesus.
Panji! Panji!
Look at him, he's been trying to save as many as they can.
Jeez.
Literally, it's just a mass grave, isn't it?
So he's a good man in his heart. Yeah, he still hasn't found his woman.
It's going to be like the last one he falls over and sees her.
Oh. This ending is rough. I don't think they show it in the film. I thought they were just going to hint at it.
It's completely opposite way. Like, showed the shooting, do you know what I mean, first, and then showing this. It's
showing the motivation at the end.
strange.
It's a good structure. Because the whole time you're thinking, why? Why is he, what caused him to do this? And you saw it.
Shot in the head as well.
That's a good man. He said, take the granddaughters first.
सांस ले रही है हाथ पैर भी हिल रहे हैं दादी
This is bad, isn't it? He's gonna find her.
I'm not looking forward to that moment.
That's gonna be the big sad, unfortunately. It's gonna be bad.
It's torturous, this.
It's literally just so prolonged and painful, this.
I wonder if like we knew anyone in like our family past knew anyone who like was involved in this or anything.
Hey, probably. It's your army relatives, and
I don't think they were in the army at this point, thankfully.
You sure not related to that Dwyer, matey?
He's Irish.
Casualties?
Don't know, sir.
Wounded?
Many. Hundreds.
I've been up all night. Haven't had any sleep.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I did my duty. Served my country.
Oh, well done. Really brave soldier you were.
Tell people I was a revolutionary.
Still hasn't found the girl. I think he's off to his, yeah, look.
That's Ray Winston.
That must be so scary. Well, not scary, but like just a weird sight seeing that in front of you. Was it his mate?
Yeah, that was his mate that died. One of the first revolutionaries, his best friend. It's insane what humans can do to each other, isn't it?
And we were supposed to be the civilized ones. There he is.
They had defied Section 144. Martial law and curfew were already in place. I went with the deliberate intention of opening fire if I found a crowd assembled there.
Would you have fired with the machine guns?
I think probably yes.
Jesus.
Casualties would have been much higher.
Yes.
I was going to punish them. My idea was to make a wide, strong impression. I was going to teach them a lesson.
2.6 million Indians lost their lives fighting for the British during World War I and II. 4 million Indians died of starvation during the man-made Bengal famine caused by Winston Churchill's wartime policies.
Jesus Christ.
Well, 100 years later, India is yet to receive an official apology from the British government for the Jallianwala Bagh massacre.
Jesus Christ. Isn't it just so weird scum, literally? It literally is. It's just appalling, isn't it?
Udham Singh's mortal remains were exhumed and repatriated to India in 1974. Several secret documents related to Udham Singh remain undisclosed till date. The aftershock of the tragedy can still be felt in the streets of Amritsar.
Wow.
I think that was a very important movie.
Yeah.
And I think more people should watch it from the UK. I know it's big in India, but yeah, like when people think of Indian movies, they think of the typical ones that we've seen of the song, the dance.
Dancing, yeah.
The cheesiness, the terrible acting, all things like that. But that's felt like it could have been directed by like Ridley Scott or someone like that. That ending is going to stick with me. I think so many movies need to be remade to be realistic. Like, that ending was realistic. That looked like an actual shooting. They need to be remade to show just the bloodiness.
Kids getting trampled on, like, it just so prolonged. It just felt, not in a way of like thinking, it felt so dragged on, but in the way it should have been. Like him just going back and forth, and you're like, this is what they were doing.
Yeah, and that was happening in like Ireland up until like the 70s, and it's a tough one. Obviously, being from England, everyone says you gotta love it, but I don't. I don't like it.
When you look at when especially people going back monarchy and like history and thinking like enslavers, mass murderers, it's like I get other countries done that as well, but it's like when you prioritise that, like our monarchy, our great history, our empire, it's like, no, I'm not really gonna get behind that, to be honest. We were absolute scumbags.
And it's very divisive, especially like there is definitely like a huge culture change going on in the UK at the moment, in terms of, because a lot of people who are our age now aren't English. Like I've got a bit of Indian in me, so watching that, I'm thinking like were my ancestors on the British side, or were they just trying to live their life normally?
You don't know to support. I'm a bit half Welsh as well, so you know.
And I'm sure there's some Welsh people there as well. So yeah, watching that, it's a bit like, you know, I hope my fans, like they were in the British Army, were they complicit in this? Were they shooting on people? Were they trying to do what Udham Singh was doing and trying to kick people out? It's a difficult one, and it's something I'd like to know more about, like the effects of empire still being felt today on us. Like for me, I'm a product of empire.
Well, that's what they said at the end, didn't they? In the streets, they said it's still be felt through the streets, and that place there is probably still relatives in that of them. You know.
Yeah. So it definitely is like a lot of people need to rethink the way it's studied, and like historical figures, like I said, the end Churchill, things like that. It makes things so difficult to think of like people like, say, like our parents' age. You've been brought up that Winston Churchill was like the greatest.
Yeah, literally lad, didn't he? Proper lad.
The
Britain,
greatest.
Lad,
And when someone comes along and tells you that he was like, his policies meant that food was being taken from India and used in the war
and killed 4 million people.
Yeah, you're not going to accept it. You're not going to accept that you're like, for many people, your hero has done all these things.
That's like the brainwashing, isn't it? It's just set from a youth. The educational system, they push their own agendas of what history is and try and narrate it and change it to what they want and what fits.
Yeah, but at the same, like you said, this conversation does literally apply to every country. It's just, ours is just very recent. It just so happened that, and it's still, it's like in Japan, they don't accept what they've done in World War II, still to this day. Whereas countries like Germany do, and they've moved on from it. It's a tough one, and there's a whole platform that we can have about this historical debate, and it's very, very difficult to talk about it. on a movie.
Yeah. On a synopsis at the end when we've got to talk about what part was our favourite and like what camera angle.
But I think it's very relevant for us being from the UK that we get to talk about it because it's what we are victim. Unless you can escape from the matrix of UK nationalism and accept that empire wasn't a good thing, and the reason why we're so rich and powerful now is because we took it from other people. That's the reason why we have such good lives in this country. It's because we took a lot from others, and you got to accept it.
I do.
Got to apologise, Jack, for what you've done. That's a good message, and see, that's the mark of a good movie. Look at that topic we just talked. I think that's the first time we talked about like current events and politics and history, rather than just being like, I like the part with the gun.
It's hard to even think about the film, like, because it had great filming elements, it had great cinematography, but like, it was just like the message was that film. Do you see what I mean? Like, it's sort of, there's no point even highlighting some of the things. Like, it was shot well. It was, those scenes were so realistic and brutal, but it was like just throughout that underlaying, knowing it's a true story and having, the actual points in history mapped and showing you the people, the actual characters, especially at the end, showing you. It's just like, it's almost like you're watching a little history documentary almost. Do you know what I mean? Like, your eyes are being open to the atrocities of it. It's a very hard film to describe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's why I said so much needs to be remade to show the horror, because so much has been movie-fied. Whereas films like this, at the end, it shows the horror of not war, but just oppression.
Literally, that's it. It's just the horror of oppression.
One that I think a film like this that needs to be made is maybe one about like Native Americans in America, and I think Americans need to acknowledge. Well, I say Americans, it was us originally as well. Need to acknowledge bloody English. Need to acknowledge that, and the best way to bring attention to it is through films, I think, nowadays.
Or they could just pump out a Marvel film with Chris Pratt's butt in it, and they're just like, wow, this will get us more money. It's good to see someone like Amazon Prime pick this up, though, because a lot of people will have access to this, and, whether it's a case of stumbling on it, but it was promoted before I even looked at this. I did see it pop up on, trending. So it is showing that these big companies are getting a little bit more brave and showing what real history is.
And it's like this and RRR kind of came out at the same time, and RRR was the one that were for good reason went to the Oscars and got like best song and got loads of attention. But I feel like if you line the two up together, this was a better film. It was, and yet this didn't get any attention. I mean, was this?
Well, it's like dipping your toes in, wasn't it? RRR was a little bit, at the beginning, a little bit like, look, this is what the British should feel. Oh, there's a bit of dancing for, and then this is like, now you've experienced it. This is get this gut punch ready. Do you know what I mean? You've got, it's almost like teasing people into it almost.
I thought this is a proper woke viewpoint. You could argue that RRR being at the Oscars is a form of colonialism of the Western people saying, look at the Indians make this funny little dancey movie. Look at them try. Look,
we're the baddies in it for a little bit, but you know what I mean?
How cute that they've made this movie. Instead of acknowledging it for what it actually is, they gave it had its little song and dance movie. How funny the
best song! It's a good song, to be fair.
It is, and it's a good movie. But a film like this, is it going to get the attention that something like RRR is going to get because it's so heavily critical of the past of Britain?
When people are scrolling through, let's see if we can break it down. 30% of people go, that's way too long film. Second, people will be like, oh, it's in another language. Do you know, all these little things just bring it down, and it's like, it's such an important film of history. Oh, what's on? Oh, the Guardians Galaxy thing's on. Oh my God, let's put that consume. Just, it's not, people don't want to consume content like this. Of course people do, but the main population want to see what Kim Kardashian's nails look like.
Yeah. I'd love to know what people in India think about this movie. Like I said at the beginning, funny enough, I said, is this guy like our Lord Nelson, who again is one of the archetypes of British imperialism and represents that culture? Like just before it all started getting serious. So it's funny how our folk heroes, Churchill,
as soon as you said
Nelson, General Gordon, all those people, they're all imperialists. They're all that's their legacy ultimately. They're all a part of the system. And it's nuts, and we don't have anyone like that. Maybe people like Emily Pankhurst, like the actual voting for women, but they were ultimately rebelling against us again.
Yeah.
So we are the baddies.
Yes.
We are very much like. Yeah. I remember seeing a meme. It was like history taught in England, and it was like all sunshine and rainbows, and then they said English history taught in every other country, and it was literally just like a swastika, and like demons and like skulls. And it's like, that's true. But then again, every country's history is like that. We've not really talked about the movie, so let's do a little bit about the film.
Yeah.
Go on, I've spoken enough.
Yeah, I think it was a really, really well-made film. It's hard to feel like I couldn't really fault anything with it. I thought some of the shots in it were incredible. It was set up, like we said, it was set up like a beautiful cinema piece almost. Some of the shots were so like majestic in the woods as well. Everything was placed right. I think the acting was really good. And that's the first thing you said. I think all the British actors as well were really good. We watched obviously RRR and a lot of the other foreign films you watch. They over-dramatise the English actors. This was just done very well, and it actually made it seem like it was from the time. It wasn't just like a standard British accent. It was proper how they would talk back then. But yeah, the narrative, the pacing of it was really well done. As we said about how it completely threw us off, showing that big bit that was set up that you already obviously knew about first, and then the ending, the pacing of it. I think the ending was the best part of the film, to be honest. That last half an hour just captured, like what we said, the beauty and the horrors of it. It really did just show the sides of the struggling and him fighting up and all the freedom fighters, and gave them a platform. This is what the best thing about this film does. It gives these people a platform. But yeah, no, I think it was very, very well done, really well executed, and the message was really boosted it.
Like a normal English person, standard English person watching this will have sympathy for Udham Singh, and they did that really, really well. Like, you could imagine, like, if it was like an American movie, because Americans are so patriotic, then they would be like, nah, he was wrong, man. He had to hang for like doing that. But the way they wrote it and portrayed it and like cut the story back and forth constantly all the time, towards the end you were very much like, yeah, this man, like the feeling I get from him is he wasn't evil. He actually did it for revenge, but he almost did it as a way to light a fire to get his country going.
The fire.
Yeah, to get his country freedom. And when I first heard about his story, I remember thinking like, what is that going to accomplish? What does killing this guy do? And showing in the movie the fear that they had of it causing a revolution, and then you got people like Gandhi who achieved stuff through peaceful protests. It was making me think like, yeah, like I do have sympathy for Udham Singh, and I understand why he did it, and quite frankly, Dwight deserved it. It is hard to talk about this film without going back to the message, because it's like, we are a part of it.
That's
like,
what this film is.
Yeah.
It's a really well-made film thing, and it sets up, but that it carries it, the message.
I think for a lot of people, this is very much escaping the cave or the matrix of, if you're English, of escaping the mindset that you've had growing up of empire and Commonwealth, and this is a good way to really understand what it actually was all about. But as a film overall, I thought it was really great directing, great writing, great acting, great sets. Because in the last few films I've watched, I've been like, that doesn't look like an English country house. That doesn't look like, those people aren't English. And I thought they was all convincing, all really well, really great. And it just made the film that much better. Definitely think people should watch it. So Jack, who is your MVP?
My MVP is going to be the director Shujit Sarkar. I think, yeah, again, because it would have been pushed the message with it, but the film was brilliant. There wasn't really any aspects that I think were negative. I think it had to be that long. That's a message, because I think that was intended to have that prolonged scene at the end. But yeah, the director was brilliant. The message was obviously focal point and pushed by the director. And I think, yeah, the whole film was really well done, especially due to it.
Yep, I agree. I'm exactly the same, because filming a film like that, which is all about like different narratives at different points, can be quite difficult to do. And it went along really well, and it looked very good. It looked like a very good movie. It didn't feel cheap. It didn't feel anything like that. It looked really good. So I agree. So Jack, what is your score for Sardar Udham?
My score is going to be an 84 out of 100.
That is very funny, Jack, because my score is also an 84 out of 100.
What are the chances?
Great minds think alike. It's the same MVP and the same score. It just shows we spend too much time together.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed the video and want to see more, be sure to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and why not follow us on Instagram while you're at it. Jack and I will be back with another video very soon. Cheerio.